Oh my goodness. It's very big. Oh, no. That wasn't a complaint. I'm sorry if it seemed like it. My mother told me a bit of what to expect, but I don't think she could have prepared me for this. It's lovely. It's very handsome. Yes, handsome. It looks strong and well built, like it could stand up to just about anything. That said, I trust we won't have to weather too many harsh storms. It is a bit intimidating by the size, I will admit. But I have your servants to help me, and together I think we can take it in hand and manage your needs quite nicely. Tell me, in what year was it first erected? Oh my. That old. That is impressive. Well, then I suppose it's no small wonder it leans a little. It's only natural. These things happen over time. Gravity takes its toll on the best of us. I can see by your face you're very proud of it. I can't blame you. Has it always been in your family? So since the beginning, that's impressive. Accustomed to it? Oh, no, not me. Oh, no. My father's is large, but not as large as yours, and certainly not as old. Aside from which, I didn't grow up with this. I didn't have it from birth like you did. No, what my father had was large enough for us all when I was young. I don't mean to imply that it wasn't impressive, but it was certainly nothing compared to what he has now, and even that feels like it's half the size of yours. Oh, no. No, we didn't get all of that until I was 15. No, my father's country house was purchased from an old family whose hereditary title had gone extinct when there were no legitimate male heirs available to pass it down to. The family had no particular affinity or loyalty to the estate, and so they sold it, so that the funds might be divvied up amongst them. I hope you'll forgive me for speaking frankly, but, I thought you knew all of this. Everyone in town seems to know that we are, as they say, new money, though my grandfather was hardly impoverished. With all of that said, though, it is true that any male offspring you and I produce will be the first in my family to have a title. I hope you will forgive me for speaking so candidly. I know that it is every bit as gauche as dollar princesses are professed to be. But I think that there must be a certain amount of plain speaking to you. Otherwise you wouldn't have been able to come to an arrangement with my father. It truly takes a certain amount of pragmatism to offer the prestige of your family in exchange for the wealth of mine. I don't mean that to be unkind or unflattering or coarse. I am American. We hold a certain set of values. An ability to pull oneself up by their bootstraps. The wherewithal to do what must be done is something we respect. And on a personal level, sacrificing your pride by marrying me in order to uphold your responsibilities to the people of your estate. I find that very commendable. Other families would have divided up what land was not entailed, and they would have sold it without consideration for the families that have been working the lands for generations for your family. They would have done so that they might live another generation in comfort. But you didn't do that. I do promise you that I will not be this plain-spoken and bold when we are in public. I'm sure you must have done your research and know that I made for a distinctly unremarkable socialite, never doing anything especially scandalous, never doing anything especially impressive. I don't care to draw attention to myself on a regular basis. But I do think that it is important for us to begin as we intend to continue. And for my part, I would like that to be with enough respect between us that we might be honest with each other. I will never behave boldly or brazenly or do anything to cause scandal. But make no mistake, the steel of my grandfather's empire has reinforced my spine, and I will not be easily shocked or shaken. If we're to rub along well together from the beginning, we'll need to understand each other, and we can only do that with open and honest communication. So, if there's something you desire from me that I am not doing or giving, I want you to tell me. And if I'm doing something that you dislike, I want to hear that. But it won't be one-sided. I will have my needs and my wants and my preferences as well. Well, for instance, I don't know what you expect of this marriage. Presumably an heir. Yes? Yes. That was my goal as well. But beyond the mutual goal of having children together, there are things that we should understand about each other. For instance, do you intend for us to reside together? Will I stay here in the country house while you spend your time in town? Or will you expect me to be in town with you when you go for the season, to host parties and attend events with you? And of course, whether we reside together or apart, you will decide if and when you choose to keep a paramour, or many. That is where we come to some of my preferences. I know I should be pretending that I don't know anything about this, but I also know that it is quite common for men to continue as if they had been single. And I do not expect you to disengage from any attachments. I understand that this union is a business affair. I am under no romantic illusions that you are going to be my storybook prince. But I would prefer if you would be discreet with any of your extramarital... Yes. Thank you. And while I understand that I have little place to ask this of you, I would be thankful if you would be circumspect with the people you choose. I have no reason to believe that you would be anything less than gentlemanly with your attachments, and I do know that you must not be one for scandal, or my father would not have agreed to this. As pragmatic as he is, my father has his pride as well, and so he would not appreciate his daughter being made the butt of unkind rumors. Suffice it to say, if you had been one to openly carry on with actresses, my father would never have agreed to this arrangement. So I suppose what I'm saying is that my preference for you is for you to remain the person you have been. I imagine that should be easy enough to do. Well, this has been an awkward conversation, and I do appreciate you humoring me. Thank you. Oh, what's this? From your mother. Why would your mother be giving me a gift? I couldn't accept such a personal treasure. An heirloom like this brooch should go to, I don't know, perhaps any daughters we might have one day. I'm sorry, likes me? Why would she like me? We've only met the one time. Oh, that was nothing. Someone had stepped on your cousin's hem, and I had pins with me. Oh, I did nothing. I assure you. She was sweet, and she was embarrassed, and I think we've all felt that way sometimes. I only told her the truth, that she was too exquisite for her beauty and grace to be marred by a torn hem. And the proof was in the pudding. When she went back out, she didn't want for a dance partner the entire evening. Oh no, I can't take credit for that either. My brother absolutely wanted to dance with your beautiful cousin. I didn't arrange anything. I only put the word in his ear that she was available at the moment if he were to ask her right then. Well, I'm glad it boosted her confidence, but truly, she's such a sweet and charming thing. Life would have done that anyway. Tell me, though, how is she doing, by the way? Oh, I am glad to hear that. Of course, I had no doubts. She's so pretty and friendly. Nobody could not like her. I'm certain that by the end of the season, she will have her choice of any suitor. Or at least, anyone's with any sense. My suitors? Oh, no. I didn't have suitors to speak of. No, truly. I had people who were business associates of my father's who considered taking me on as part of a merger with my father's estate. No. As I said, I have been a singularly unremarkable socialite. I dance adequately, but not gracefully. I sing well, but not exceptionally. My needlework is neat, but not beautiful. My conversation is polite, but not sparkling. My form is slim, but not petite. My features symmetrical, but not beautiful. My wit, well, my wit is reserved for behind closed doors with people who share my sense of humor. I beg your pardon, I'm mistaken about what? I... Oh, my dear husband, I thought we had agreed to be honest with one another. You and I both know that I am not beautiful. I don't mind, I don't mind being unremarkable. There's a certain amount of freedom in it. But please, let us be honest with each other. I know that I am no great goddess of beauty. That's all right. My father's money has always made me more attractive. And one thing I am is savvy enough to manage a house and maintain an estate in such a way as to preserve the beauty of that feature. All the pretty little posies of the marriage mart will fade in due time. But I'm very proud to know that my garden will bear fruit for years. Please stop saying that. Because I want to be complimented on things that are true. It is not true. I have a mirror. I know full well what I look like. My lips are not full enough to be fashionable. My eyes are not blue enough or clear enough. My skin is freckled, and my hair is neither curly enough for one fashion nor smooth enough for another. I am not beautiful. I apologize for my outburst. I must commend you on your resourcefulness. Kissing me was a very effective way of stopping my lips. We will have to come up with something more appropriate in the future. I don't mean to say that it is inappropriate for you to, kiss me. I know that you are my husband. I just... well, it's not that you're not allowed to find anyone attractive. It's just, I know I shouldn't be arguing with you. I said I was respectable. I never said I was biddable. You're trying to fluster me, and I don't know what your game is, but it's yes, it's working. Because this is not what I expected. You married me for my father's money. This isn't a love match, so I don't know why you insist on giving me these silly compliments and kisses. No, it's not taboo to kiss your wife. In the interests of honesty and candor, if you're trying to kiss me to stop me from arguing, it will work. But only temporarily. That was unexpected. Yes. Yes. Please show me the rest of the house. I should know where your chambers are. Hello, my sweet confections. I hope you liked that. That story actually has a spicy to go with it over on my Patreon. And there's going to be more to that story. The Dollar Princesses were an actual thing in the late 1800s and early 1900s, where people socialites whose parents had money were being married off to people who had kind of lost some of their money, but their family had prestige, their family had titles, and so they used their daughters to get the one thing that their money could not buy them outright. But their grandchildren would have titles. So there were a lot of American princesses. They called them the American Dollar Princesses. Anyway. Yes, so there's a spicy to go along with that. And also, speaking of spices, if you hop on over to Xena Alexandra's channel that I will link below, she and I did a collab for her channel and also for her Patreon for Spicy. And for those of you who have seen us in conversation, heard us in conversation before, we had to work around a Spicy. She and I have been friends for a very long time, and we are like family to each other. So, except I would never have done even this level of Spicy with family. So when she first approached me, I was like, okay, well, what we could do is we could talk to the listener. Like, we could interact with the listener, not interact with each other. Keep it kosher that way. And what we ended up with was silly and funny and fabulous. The first of the two videos, we are monster girls who are helping a guy, the listener, you, get ready for a date, and we're going to pamper him and prep him and make him his absolute best so that he gets a second date. And for the Spicy, we move on to the manscaping and maybe a little bit of giving him some tips on what to do with the lady once they're on a date. That's what we did. I think you will enjoy both of them. If you're 18 and over, otherwise you can only enjoy the one, and the other does not exist. Really, you know what? I was lying. There is no Spicy. If you're under 18, it's not. You're not missing anything. It's okay. We didn't do anything. You're not missing anything. Don't worry about it. Wow, that has really become a catchphrase in the server. Don't worry about it. Thank you, Always Able, for that. You know what? Also, thank you to my new patrons. Just a couple of naughty men. We've got the Antichrist. Oh my God, I've never had a celebrity join my server before, or join my Patreon before. There is Nazgul Cookie. And also succubus slave. Huh. Succubus slave. You gonna be hanging out in the Discord server? Are we gonna meet? Are we gonna chat? Are we gonna hang out? Asking for a friend. Of course, I always like to give a special shout out to my bakers and pounders, which include Succubus Slave, Nelson Malice Salo, and Army Guy 007, The Undead Toast, Mr. Fabulous, Tiny the Taxman, Meryl, Inline Flaws, Mr. Wriggles, Anand, Nick, Always Able, Lion in Winter, Infinite Moon, Old Bean UK, Kahlua Bear, Forces, The Swaggy Llama, Artlow, Pierce Tailish, Bellamy, Tom Berry Shuffle, and Christian Cleopatra. Thank you so much, you guys. Your existence is a blessing to those around you. I hope you all have a great day, and I hope you will all be as good to yourselves as you are to me. I will talk to you tomorrow.